want to hit you with a stat about Brock Purdy. So Chase Sr. pointed this out. It's on playerprofiler.com. Anyone wants to check it. Brock against man, Brock against zone this season. Here are the stats. Against zone, completion percentage 73.7, sixth best in the league. Passer rating 130.7, number one in the league. We know Brock shreds zone. Against man this season, completion percentage 41.1, that's 33 somehow. And then passer rating versus man 59.3, that's 32nd. So my question is, has the league found Brock's kryptonite? Is this the way to stop him, or is this a symptom of other problems on the offense?
I think a little bit of both, because I don't want it to all be on Brock, right? There's a lot of answers to this problem, right? There's not one problem, right? That's why we move forward with the injury issue of not having CMC there, and people automatically attribute to, the red zone issues or why we're not winning because we literally don't have one player. This didn't happen overnight. Right. And this didn't happen because one guy is not playing on the team. I think that one of the biggest things right now is that Brock does not have ownership of the offense. There's no buy-in from Kyle, none whatsoever. This is a scheme full of plays, and the plays get put in and we run the plays. That's this offense, right? It's not sound. It's not a living and breathing organism where it can actually contemporaneously make decisions when they see that they don't have the numbers, or when they see that the play needs to be changed, or when they see that we need to speed up the tempo, or when we see that we're in 4 minutes and we need to slow it down. All of that intelligence, right? All of that metadata is lost on this team. And I can't rightfully put it all on Brock when I know that if you have played before, right, or you coached before, you understand that the reason why the coach-player relationship is built on trust is the number one thing that's glaring you in the face, Grant, and that is you literally can do whatever you want once you get on the field. I can't tell you what to do, right? That's the thing about football that makes it great, is that there's a trust. There is, tell me what you see. How is it bared out versus what I've told you? And I don't necessarily think that conversation is happening on this team, and it's starting to show because other teams are starting to understand what this scheme is and how they can start attacking this scheme based on the certain simple things that every NFL offense has that we just don't.
So the man coverage thing is a widespread issue with the offense. Kyle Shanahan has to own some of it. He could scheme open easier throws against man-to-man coverage. Although I gotta say, after watching the film, I mean, the long throw to Cowing, the long throw to Kittle, both up the sideline. It's like, if defenses are going to take away the middle of the field because that's where Brock is great, and they're going to not play zone as much because that's where Brock will kill you, then he's going to have to make throws outside the numbers down the field. And in those two instances, Kyle schemed it open with these really incredible, like stutter move, whatever you want to call them, but like routes that are specifically designed to beat man-to-man coverage. Mm-hmm. Kyle did his job. The receiver did his job. Brock underthrew the pass on both occasions. Either one could have been a touchdown. And I feel like against man, he's an anticipatory thrower. That's what you need against zone. But against man, I feel like arm talent's more important.
I think the situation that's happening right now is that both people are being stressed. That is Kyle and Brock, right? I feel like Kyle's offense is stressing Brock physically, where Brock can't make some of the throws that Kyle is asking him to. And I feel if you could get Kyle by himself, he feels a little bit challenged over the fact that he can't find ways how to accentuate Brock's skill set outside of zone, right? And a lot of it really isn't even have anything to do with Brock. Every quarterback that Kyle has had to do it his way, right? Because it flows through his expertise, his confidence, his subject matter expertise on exactly how the offense is supposed to be ran. We've talked about this for years, but I don't think Kyle would be able to see anything new in his offense that happened during the field and be encouraged. We've seen Kyle be angry from positive plays because the ball did not go where he thought the ball should go. And for that shows a lack of ingenuity, a lack of curiosity, professionalism, right? Where if you see something that works, that happens outside of the rules that you've put forth, that should spark your curiosity to say, I need to go find out what that is. We need to find out that wrinkle. And the only reason why I'm bringing that point up, Grant, is that that's the mode of season we're in now. all hands on deck. Every wrinkle counts. Every route that had positive traction, we need to record it, because right now, the truth is that I think you see it. We all see it. We don't have an identity.
And I think what's so interesting is, like, I feel like we've reached the limit of the Brock offense, and it's the same limit as the Jimmy offense. We've been here before. Like, you get about 25, 30 games, 35 games to look at this quarterback, and it's like, okay, he's going to dice us up in zone. We probably shouldn't play too high. He doesn't really want to throw deep that much. So why don't we play single high? Let's load the box. Let's play man coverage. Let's play inside leverage. Let's take away the in breakers. Let's really force this quarterback to beat us with a steady diet of throws outside the numbers. And Jimmy couldn't do it. Jimmy could not do it. And I think, like, I don't know that Brock can do it. You know, that's why they drafted Trey. That's why they brought in Sam Darnold. Like, I'm not saying those guys are great, but with Sam Darnold, he literally could make those throws for touchdowns down the sideline to Jacob Cowing and George Kittle. With Brock, like, yeah, man, he's way better against zone than Darnold is. But
most people,
you could argue those two throws were his biggest there were huge missed opportunities in this game. They weren't bigger blunders than the turnovers, but they were almost as bad.
Well, I mean, I watched the film as well, and I primarily watched the offensive line, so I always get a good chance to see what's being done against us, because I watched opposing defenses against us, and sometimes I get nosy and I start peeking into the hashes and seeing what's happening outside of the trenches. And I will tell you, there were many instances where the Chiefs linebackers, whether it be Bolton, Leo Chenal, whether it be Reed, and the other safety that they had, these guys were living on the hashes. There were instances during the game where they were playing man zone and bracketing underneath, and literally had their back to Brock, where their main focus wasn't even where Brock was going with the ball, but it was more important that there was absolutely no routes in the middle of the field. Right. So whatever that was happening on defense is that they were funneling everything up the field, forcing Brock to make longer throws. Right. Nothing easy over the middle. And really, that's another part of that we're going to have to start realizing, is that if you got an offense that's not sound, you're kind of letting the defense off the hook, right? Because now they get to play a bespoke certain way just to beat your offense. So now we don't even get to attack bad safeties or attack bad corners, right? Where we can get in positions where we can attack linebackers from a standpoint of developing the run game, right? Condensing the game, bringing the game down into the box, and then giving Brock the ownership and the opportunity to change plays. I haven't seen an audible all season. I haven't seen it. So, I mean, that speaks on Brock. I mean, that speaks on Kyle. I'll tell you.